Hello everybody, Lorcana Stop here. As a token of my appreciation for getting 200 plus followers on TikTok today, I want to show you one of my personal homebrew decks that I've been creating. It is a Sapphire Amber deck that plays aggro, and so I just wanted to take a moment and share it with you. So, my dog is trying to join me. The first thing that this deck has in it is 4 copies of Gleam, which may be interesting for some of you who are like, why would that be in an aggro deck? So if you haven't played Gleam before, it is a card that banishes a chosen item and you gain 2 lore. Now, why would that be, or the player whose item it was gains 2 lore. Now, most of the time we think about banishing other people's items, but in a hyper aggro deck like this, we're probably going to banish our own. Which item are we going to banish? This deck has some proxies in it, I will say, because I'm still working on completing the whole deck, so I will try and keep you in the loop of which cards each one is supposed to be. We're going to play Popsicle. Popsicle is the only card cycle that we have in this deck, and I only have one currently, so I actually have some friends who, when I play with them, they let me just play Fortisphere, because we all know what Popsicle does. So I'm going to run 4 copies of Popsicle. It's not actually Fortispheres. Now with that, we also like to run 2 copies of the Bell Apprentice Inventor card. This card is really great at helping you control the board if you need to with the hyper aggro. If they get out a big body unit, this can help you to get rid of it. We're not really using this to quest, we're using this as a way to keep the board under control. If you can quest it, great. If not, this thing is totally intended to just be a face slammer into their cards. Keep your other ones safe. Next, we're going to run 4 copies of Stitch New Dog. I bet you're wondering why we're going to run this 1-drop. It's nothing too special, but it is inkable, which I really like. It's also kind of a big body, kind of the same as Bell. We're running this to make sure that the board stays under control. You can quest it, which is great, but for the most part, you're going to be using this 2/2 as just a piece of meat to slam into your opponent should the need arise. Next is going to be some of our staple 1-drops in a hyper aggro deck for Daisy Ducks. Of course, we all know what this one does. Quests for 2, lets your opponents draw a card, and if it is a character. So we'll run 4 of those. Next, I like to run 4 Lilo Making a Wish. Now you'll notice I only have 2, so for now I'm replacing it with a little bit of a later game card. It's got support, which may help you control the board in quests for 2. And then a Joshua Sweet. I have some bodyguards that I'm missing in this deck that you'll see down the line, so this one is an okay replacement for now, but nothing special. So we want 4 Lilo Making the Wishes. Next thing, you'll kind of notice that Bell Apprentice Inventor was a hero, Stitch is also a hero, Lilo is a hero, Daisy Duck's unfortunately only an ally, so we're going to run 4 on up Braving the Storms. This card is essentially a Daisy Duck 2-drop if you have another hero out, so it gets 2 lore upon questing, but it's actually inkable as well, so quite nice. You may ink it sometimes if you run Daisy Duck as your 1-drop sometimes, but for the most part, this one's a really good one to stuff behind some of your other characters, because you'll notice a lot of characters in this deck are heroes anyway. The next thing that we're going to run is another one of our heroes. It's going to be Lilo Escape Artist, and I've got my full holo set. Ooh, love this card, one of my favorite cards in all of Lorcana. We're going to run 4 copies of Lilo Escape Artist. Of course, this is the one that when it's in your graveyard, you can bring it back to life. Some people refer to it as Zombie Lilo. We're going to run 4 drops of those. Now, next, I'm kind of torn on this one. Sorry, you can hear my dog munching in the background here. I've got Piglet Poo Pirate Captain. I've got 2 copies of it right now. This is one, of course, when you have 2 other characters in play. You get +2, so this would be a 3 quester. Duke Weaselton is actually a really good one, so I'm kind of considering running 2 and 2 instead of 4 of this because Duke has Ward. And what that's going to do, of course, is going to help this deck survive against the meta decks, the Sapphire Steels, the Sapphire Rubies, where they're going to run things like Brawl or Let the Storm Rage On or Zeus. They can't do that to this one. They're going to have something on board to fight back against this thing. A lot of the times they do, but if they're in an unlucky draw where they're relying on their actions and songs to remove stuff, this guy can get a lot of lore at a time. So we're either going to run 2 Piglets or 4 Piglets. If we run 2 Piglets, we're going to run 2 Dukes. Next, into some of the bodyguards of this deck. I want to run 4 Simba Protective Cubs. Just kind of a middle-sized body. He's got 2 attack. He's got a really big shield on him, so he can be quite protective, as the name implies. I don't have 4 copies of him yet, so I have the Prince and Fix-It Felix as 2 other bodyguards with quite large shields on them to help protect from some of the things that might be attacking our characters. I want to run 4 Donald Ducks. The Musketeer Soldier, which is a bodyguard as well that gives 1 lore to a character, but I don't have that yet, so I'm running some Wendy Darlings right now, just a playset of those. Got a pretty big body that can survive things like Let the Storm Rage On, so they're going to have to commit something big like a Zeus or have something on board to fight back against this thing. Just for now, I've got 4 copies of that while I wait for the Donald Duck. Also a hero card. You'll notice that those 3, the Piglets, the Simba, and the Wendy are all heroes. Next, I have Hiram. Hiram, I want to have 2 copies of. He quests for 3. If you can get this guy behind a bodyguard, he's an absolute machine. I don't have 2 copies of Hiram right now, so I'm running a Coda, who is kind of similar. A little bit of a bigger body. He's got some attack, so he fights back, but quests for 3, costs a little bit more, but is inkable, so they're about even with how they perform. Next, I currently don't have 2 copies of Tiana Restaurant Owner, but I only want to run 2. A lot of people would run 4, but with some of the things that I have in here that are uninkable, sometimes you can run into a wall with how many things you have in your hand that are uninkable and actually get stuck. So I want to run 2. I've only got 1 copy right now. I'm waiting for a second one. So I'm running a Baymax, which is kind of a little cheeky play if you get a Hiram out there. Most of the time, this guy's just going to be ink, but he quests for 2. He's got a big body, and if you have an Inventor character out, he costs 1 less. So he would actually only cost 2. And Hiram would help him to cost 2. There's no other inventors in this deck that would help him. But if you don't know what Tiana does, whenever she is exerted, they have to spend 3 ink for the challenging character to not lose 3 attack upon attacking. So if you stuff this behind a bodyguard, it is absolutely impossible to get through, barring them having something like Zeus to take out the Tiana. Now, if they do have something like Zeus to take out the Tiana, that's where this next card, Alice, Savvy Sailor, comes in. Tiana's a hero as well, so you'll kind of see, as I had said before, Anna has a lot of things that are helping her to get to lore per turn. Alice, I'm going to try and run 4 of. I only have 1 copy right now. I wish I had more, so I have some other cards that I'm just running in place while I wait for the Alice to come in. Alice has Ward, so of course survives a lot of things from Sapphire Steel or Ruby Sapphire. And when she quests, she gives 1 lore to another character and Ward. So if you can quest Alice and give the Ward plus 1 lore to the Tiana, it makes their life miserable. I don't have 4 copies right now, so Chip can help just kind of get you a cheeky win. If they think that you don't have win on board quite yet, it can give 1 lore to a character for that turn. And then Moana's just kind of a big body character that helps to, with ramping up lore or defending the board as a 3/4. So that's what I'm running in it right now. Next, I've got 4 copies of Prince Eric, just kind of helping to replace Baloo. I don't have Baloo currently. Baloo is a 3-drop that gains 2 lore when it leaves the board. Prince Eric is kind of a card that pales in comparison, but it is still a bodyguard, so it helps me out for now. Baloo is a 0/3, but gains 2 lore when it leaves play. So if you manage to get all 4 out, which I actually have before, you can actually gain 8 lore just from having your Baloos removed. And then they also serve as a shield for all these other great cards that are in this deck. Next, I'm running 2 Snow Whites. She's a 4-drop 2/2 that gains 2 lore, and of course, she cannot be challenged, so not even evasive, just incapable of being challenged. This helps against some decks that like to control the board more, like a Ruby Steel or an Emerald Steel. Now those decks are going to run things like Let the Storm Rage On, that will get rid of this, but kind of in the inverse, if they brick those and they're really trying to control the board via attacking, then this card is a monster. It can help you sneak out some wins. If not, totally inkable, totally fine. The last 4 cards that I'm running is McDuck Manors, 4 of them, which of course a lot of people know, but it is a location that gains 2 lore per turn. And it's also inkable, so if you're not ramping up your lore or your ink like you'd like to, you can totally just ink these and it is okay. You can start to use it as fuel to get these other cards out, but if you do get this thing out, it can be an absolute nightmare for your opponent, especially those who are not running location removal. The 9 life on it makes it a nightmare to get rid of, especially if you ramp to turn 4, you play 1 and then you have another and you play another. It's way too hard for them to keep up with, especially if you're having all these other guys out here questing. It can be absolutely disgusting. So that is my deck. If you'd like to know what the exact deck list is, I can send you a link. Feel free to send me a message and I will make sure that I do that for you. But it has been an absolute honor. I am humbled and appreciative of your guys' following, and I look forward to making some more content for you, some more openings of packs and sharing some of my other Lorcana content. Thank you so much.